You know you should let go. The job, the relationship, maybe even your business, the plan you had before, whatever it is, something in you has known for a while that it's not working anymore. And you know that because you clicked on this video, right? But you cannot let go. And the reason is not what you think. It's not loyalty. It's not false hope. It's not patience. Your brain is playing a sneaky trick on you. And by the end of this video, you are going to see exactly what that trick is and how to stop it from keeping you stuck. But first, let me tell you a story. And I think it will make this whole idea click pretty quickly. We all know the story of the Titanic. You remember the amazing movie in the 90s with Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet and all of that, but it's a true story, right? And so if you've not seen the movie, you've probably at least heard about it somewhere, right? The Titanic was one of the most expensive ships ever built, world class, first class, everything. I mean, people paid a fortune for their tickets to get onto this once in a lifetime experience. And it was supposed to be, worth it. It was supposed to be that experience of a lifetime. And then it started to sink. It hit an iceberg and it started to sink. And in that moment, every person on that ship had a choice. They could either stay on the ship, this beautiful, expensive, world-class ship they had paid so much to be on, or they could get into a life raft, which was small, rinky-dink compared to this huge ship, uncomfortable, completely uncertain, nothing like what they had originally paid for. But the life raft was the thing that would get them to safety and help keep them alive because the ship was going down. No matter how beautiful, no matter how much they paid for that ticket, that ship had a one-way trip down in that water. And so some people got on the life raft and some people went down with the ship. And that is what a lot of us are doing right now. We are holding on to something that is sinking, just like the Titanic was. A career, a workplace, a relationship, a plan, a version of our life that is not working anymore because it was expensive. It cost us a lot. We paid to be here. We're thinking to ourselves, it used to be beautiful. And then the life raft, this new direction, this change, this unknown looks small and uncomfortable by comparison. But the ship is going down whether you stay on it or not. And so the only question is whether you're going to get into the raft. Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm a decision strategist and author of Rest is the New Hustle, a blueprint for thriving without burnout. And on this channel, I help you see clearly, decide wisely, and think higher about the decisions that shape your life. And so if this is something you need, if you can use that extra inspiration and perspective, go ahead and hit subscribe. That Titanic story, like I said, is not just a metaphor. It is exactly what your brain does and what my brain does every time we try to leave something we've invested in. So every time you try to leave something you've invested in, you are in a situation that maybe is not clearly giving you what you need. Maybe it stopped working a long time ago. Maybe it never really worked the way you thought it would. And you can see that. So you're not confused about what's happening, right? But every time you think about walking away, starting afresh, doing something different, your brain says something like this: but I've already put in so much time. I can't just walk away after everything I've invested, after everything I've spent. It will be a waste to leave it now. Does that sound familiar? So this is your brain trying to keep you on the ship. And psychologists call it the sunk cost fallacy. But I just call it the sunk cost trap because that's what it is. It is a trap. And here's how it works. Your brain treats everything you have already spent, whether it's time or money or energy, years of your life as a reason to keep going. Like you have this little energizer bunny in the back of your brain that just says, keep going, keep going. Like if you've already put 4 years into something, leaving it after those 4 years might feel like a waste. So you stay, not because staying is the right move, but because leaving would mean admitting, darn, that investment, that ticket just did not pay off. But here's what your brain does not want you to see. Those 4 years are gone, whether you stay or leave. The ticket is already paid. That money is not coming back. There are no refunds. There were no Titanic refunds. The ship is already sinking, right? So staying does not get you your investment back. Staying adds another year or two possibly to a situation that is already not working. Let me show you what this actually looks like in real life because it's sneakier than you think. So we're going to go through different versions of this, and you think about your life in some scenarios where you face similar situations. So let's look at the career version. So you spend, for example, 4 years, especially now, this is so many people's stories with the rise of AI and all these other things, but you spend 4 years getting a degree in something, and then you get into the field and then you realize, man, there's no jobs at all. I can't even get into the field, right? Maybe you do get into the field, but you hate it, but you stay because what was the point of those 4 years of college if you don't use the degree? So you spend another year or maybe even another 10 years in some cases in a career that completely drains you, not because you chose it today, but because you chose it, when you first graduated, or you chose it 5 years ago, or you chose it 10 years ago, right? That's an example. Another example of the sunk cost trap would be, maybe let's look at relationships, right? So let's say you've been with somebody for years and you've built this life around them. I mean, it's not great, but it's familiar, right? But somewhere deep down, the relationship is not what it needs to be. But you think, man, I've already given this person my best. I don't want to start over. I can't start over now, right? There's also a business version of this, right? You launch something, some product that you really put your heart and soul into, and you put money into it, time, energy, you told everybody about it, and it's not working. But maybe you keep going because, not because the numbers make sense or because you truly see a way forward, but because quitting would mean that all the effort was for nothing, right? That's the sunk cost trap. And so here's what I want you to see. In all of those situations, in all of those versions, the person is not making a decision about the future. They are making a decision based on the past. They're trying to protect what they already spent. And that is the trap. Because the past is not a reason to stay. The past is just the paid price of the lessons you learned. It's the paid price of the admission to your next level. And the lesson is only valuable if you use it to make a better decision today for your future. All right. So you have to make a better decision now for your future. So remember that Titanic story. Every one of those people is doing the same thing. They are staying on a ship that is sinking. And just because the ticket was expensive was not enough of a reason to stay. So at some point, the people that got on the life raft had to decide, I need to make a better decision now to protect my future. And that is where we all are, right? Because that Titanic ship, it used to be beautiful, but that life raft looks so uncomfortable. But the ship does not care. The Titanic didn't care how much those people paid. It was going down regardless. So the only question is, are you going to get in the raft? Are you going to choose to do what you need to do today for your future over the price you paid in the past? The money spent, the years spent, or I like to think invested, the energy spent. The only thing that is not spent yet is your future. And the thing that you are actually choosing about right now is what can make all the difference in the world about that. So here is the solution. So we talked about the problem, right? But here's the solution. One question. And if you answer it honestly, it will cut through the sunk cost trap every single time. You want to ask yourself this honestly now. If I were starting fresh today with no history, no investment, no time already spent, would I still choose this? Would you still take the job today? Knowing what you know now, would you start the relationship today? Knowing what you know now, would you launch this business today completely fresh from a completely blank slate? If the answer is yes, then stay, because that means you're there by choice. But if the answer is no, then you're not staying by choice. You're staying by habit, which is different. Choice is a real decision. Habit is a default. And habit dressed up like loyalty is still just a habit. Habit dressed up like being smarter, being wise is still honestly just a habit. And that's the trick of the sunk cost fallacy. So let me say something important to you. Letting go of something you have already invested in is not a waste. It is wisdom. It means you learn something. It means you are using the lesson instead of repeating the mistake. The real waste is not letting go of something that costs you. And that is not only costing you today, it's going to cost you your future. The real waste is holding on to something that is sinking. And so this is one of the thinking traps I see most clearly in my decision strategy sessions. Someone comes in stuck, not because they don't know the answer, but because their brain is holding that past and all the time they spent hostage. And so if this is where you're at today and you want structured help kind of thinking through, seeing it clearly, maybe you're like, okay, Jennifer, I realize I'm ready for a change, but I don't know what that life raft should be, right? If you need help seeing it clearly, I do a limited number of From Confusion to Clarity decision strategy sessions each week. So the link is in the description, but spots are limited. So please check it out if that's something that you think might interest you. And here's what I want you to take away from this video is that the past has already happened, but the future has not. So decide for the person you are becoming, not the person who paid for the past. Don't go down with the ship. Get in the raft. I want you to think higher, because that is where your better life is waiting. I'll see you in the next one.